You know that feeling when you discover something so brilliantly simple that you wonder why you haven't been doing it all along. That's exactly how I felt when I rediscovered the cardboard composting method. And I say rediscovered because this technique has been hiding in plain sight for decades, quietly transforming gardens while most of us were overthinking our compost piles. Here at the Soil House, we're all about building living soil that practically feeds itself, and I'm thrilled to share this game-changing method with you today. If you've been hesitant about using cardboard in your garden because you've heard whispers about termite invasions, stick with me. I'm going to show you exactly how to harness cardboard's incredible power to create rich, dark humus faster than traditional composting, without inviting unwanted guests to the party. Let's start with what makes cardboard such a phenomenal addition to your composting arsenal. Cardboard is essentially processed wood fiber, which means it's packed with carbon, that crucial brown material every compost pile craves. But unlike dry leaves or straw that can blow away or decompose unevenly, cardboard has a structural integrity that works absolute wonders in the soil building process. When you layer cardboard properly in your garden, it acts as both a weed suppressant and a moisture regulator while simultaneously feeding the soil life below. The corrugated layers create tiny air pockets that beneficial organisms absolutely love, and as these microbes and fungi move in to break down the cardboard, they're literally manufacturing humus, that magical, dark, crumbly substance that makes plants thrive. What really sets cardboard apart is its ability to hold moisture while still allowing air circulation. This creates the perfect environment for aerobic decomposition, which is faster and, honestly, a lot sweeter smelling than the anaerobic sludge that can develop in poorly managed compost piles. You're essentially creating a biological processing factory right in your garden bed. Now, let's address the elephant in the garden: termites. I've heard every variation of this concern, and honestly, I completely understand the hesitation. After all, termites eat wood, and cardboard is wood fiber, so the logic seems sound. But here's what years of experience and observation have taught me about this relationship. Termites are attracted to dry, undisturbed cellulose in contact with soil, typically in dark, protected spaces. They're not particularly interested in cardboard that's actively being decomposed by a thriving community of bacteria, fungi, and other decomposers. The key difference lies in how you use the cardboard and what you're creating around it. When cardboard is kept consistently moist, buried under layers of compost or mulch, and integrated into an active composting system, you're cultivating an environment that's already occupied by millions of beneficial organisms. These organisms outcompete termites for resources and create conditions that termites actually avoid. Think of it like moving into a bustling neighborhood versus an abandoned building. Termites prefer the latter. The secret is never leaving cardboard exposed and dry on the soil surface for extended periods. We're not creating termite habitat, we're creating a biological feeding frenzy that transforms cardboard into plant food before termites even show interest. Here's where the magic happens, and I want you to follow this process carefully because the layering sequence matters tremendously. I call this the lasagna method with intention, and it's been transforming garden beds here at the Soil House for years. Start by selecting your cardboard carefully. You want plain, unwaxed corrugated cardboard without glossy printing or plastic tape. Those Amazon boxes? Perfect. That moving box collection in your garage? Ideal. Remove any tape, labels, and staples. This 5-minute prep saves you from plastic bits in your finished compost. Lay your cardboard directly on the soil surface, overlapping pieces by at least 6 inches. You want complete coverage with no gaps for weeds to exploit. If you're doing this over lawn or weedy areas, don't bother removing the existing vegetation. The cardboard will smother it, and those dying plants become additional nitrogen for your developing humus layer. Here's the critical step that prevents termite issues while accelerating decomposition. Immediately wet the cardboard thoroughly. I'm talking soaking wet, where water pools briefly before soaking in. This moisture is your insurance policy and your acceleration trigger. Dry cardboard can sit for months with minimal decomposition, but wet cardboard surrounded by soil life begins transforming within weeks. Now, Go ahead and layer on your nitrogen-rich materials. Fresh grass clippings, kitchen scraps, coffee grounds, aged manure. Just pile these materials at least 4 to 6 inches deep over your wet cardboard. This green layer provides the nitrogen that balances cardboard's high carbon content and, well, it feeds the microbial workforce that will digest everything into humus. Top everything with a final mulch layer of straw leaves or wood chips, another 3 to 4 inches. This blanket keeps your cardboard consistently moist, moderates temperature, and creates the dark, active environment where decomposition thrives and, yeah, termites avoid. Over the next several weeks, something pretty remarkable unfolds beneath those layers. Bacteria move in first, releasing enzymes that begin breaking down the cardboard's cellulose. Fungi follow, sending hyphal networks through the corrugated layers, accessing nutrients, and further decomposing the material. Earthworms arrive to feast on the partially decomposed cardboard and the rich organic matter above it, creating castings that might be, honestly, nature's most perfect fertilizer. The cardboard itself becomes a microbial hotel, with different organisms occupying different zones depending on moisture, oxygen, and nutrient availability. This biological diversity is what makes the method so effective. You're not just composting, you're cultivating an ecosystem. Within 2 to 3 months, depending on temperature and moisture levels, your cardboard begins transforming into a dark, crumbly substance that's almost unrecognizable. By 6 months, in most climates, you'll have difficulty finding intact cardboard at all. What remains is rich, earthy humus teeming with life, the foundation of genuinely healthy soil. Even with the best methods, gardens teach us through experience. If you notice your cardboard decomposing slowly, it's almost always a moisture or nitrogen issue. Pull back your mulch layer and check. If the cardboard feels papery and dry, add water. If it's wet, but not breaking down, you need more nitrogen-rich materials mixed in. Some gardeners worry about acidity since cardboard can be slightly acidic during decomposition. In practice, though, this is rarely an issue because the other organic materials and soil life really help buffer any pH changes. If you're concerned, you can sprinkle a light dusting of agricultural lime between layers, but honestly, I've never found this necessary in balanced systems. You know, the beauty of this method is really its flexibility. You can use it to build new garden beds, refresh existing ones, create pathways that eventually become planting areas, or even as the base layer in large-scale composting operations. Honestly, I have used it everywhere from tiny urban balcony containers to sprawling market gardens, and the principles stay remarkably consistent. The forgotten cardboard method isn't just about getting rid of boxes or finding a composting shortcut. It's about understanding that soil building is actually a biological process, not a mechanical one. When you create the right conditions, moisture, balanced carbon and nitrogen, oxygen, and protection, nature just handles the complex chemistry all on its own, without any help from us. I really encourage you to start small if you're new to this approach. Just pick one garden bed or create a dedicated composting area using these principles. Watch what happens over a season. Notice how the soil beneath transforms, how plants respond to the humus-rich environment, and how your garden becomes more resilient and productive. If this method resonates with you and transforms your garden the way it has mine, I'd love for you to subscribe to the Soil House channel and share this article with fellow gardeners who might benefit. Building better soil is something we're all in together, and every garden improved is a small victory for sustainability and food security. So, let's keep learning, growing, and building living soil, one cardboard layer at a time.